it's 100 stories. It's the Pledge of Allegiance on the 4th of July. It's them handwritten letters from home. It's them sleepless nights alone. It's his newborn baby he left with his wife. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Hey. From the fields of Indiana to the swamps of Louisiana, to the golden coast of California, Uncle Sam's the only family he's got. His purple heartbeat won't stop, and his 18th birthday was the day he was born. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a lie. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stand on the front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, pay the ultimate price. He was the man of the house when he was born. His family is proud but torn. But if you knew him, you would understand. He was raised on how to be brave, just to see the flag still wave. And then he came home with only one hand. 'Cause Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a lie. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, stay on this front line. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, he'll pay the ultimate price. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, lay down, here's a lie. Mr. Red, White, and Blue, for these stars and stripes. March in line, march in line. Hey, hey.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good evening, Erie County. Here we are. It is Wednesday. What a crazy weather day today. It was warm, and then they had weather warnings all over the place for us. So it's just an issue of, man, hang on and wait for a minute. Like they always say, if you don't like the weather in Erie, just hang on a minute. It will change. So, my goodness, again, here we are a week later, and it's still a political. I am an unbelievable. I was listening to Joe Natale show, and they had this expert on there, and he was talking about presidents and all the hubbub our presidents have gone through and our history. I mean, it was just amazing some of these statistics, talking about presidents that were, of course, had polio and that were sick and then had, all this stuff. Brenda's saying blurry camera. I see it here. Let me make it like that. See if that'll make it go better. But yeah, so it was a great show. It was on the Joe Natale show. And of course, I was out driving around doing, hi, Mark, doing what we do, register people for voting. And I got to tell you, I no matter where I go, of course, I had the Trump trailer with me. It is a great kind of way to start a conversation. I had to go to Kohl's today, get a pair of sneakers. I come out, there's a couple standing there taking pictures. I come over, introduce myself, and they're like, "Yeah, we're from Warren County. I was up here, at a doctor's appointment. We saw your sign. Do you care?" I said, "Oh," I said, "You guys want to get up there and take a picture? We can do that." We talked about voter registration. We talked about mail-in ballots. Of course, which is the lead into, you'll get these in the mail. You're gonna get a lot of these in the mail. You know, that's that one. Here's the one from the Trump people. Oop. Here's the official Pennsylvania one. These are the only ones that, our team is actually dealing with, because these are the official ones. People look at the other ones like, "Oh, that's not real. It's paid by this pack and that pack." I said, "I agree with you. We made the decision to make sure we had plenty of official PA ones." Uh, so here we are. We're just out and about doing what we do. I stopped at McDonald's. Two nice ladies were standing there waiting for. I was coming out of McDonald's. They come out there and they were out there taking pictures. Like, "Could you take a picture of us, please?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "Ladies, are you registered to vote?" They said, "Yes." I said, "Can we talk about mail-in ballots?" She's like, "Yeah, actually, I think I do." I said, "Because my husband doesn't get around as well uh, as he used to, but we're good, solid Republicans." And I said, "Well, where's your husband?" He said, "Well, look, we're out and about and everything. But could you do me a favor?" I said, "I will definitely try." So I gave her four mail-in ballot applications. Boop, the official one. She goes, "Could you? Here's my address. Could you please stop down and let my husband see your trailer? He's a huge Trump fan. He'll get a kick out of that. He doesn't get around as well as he used to, but he would love your trailer." I wrote the address down. I stopped by later on, and of course they weren't home, but I know where they live. They're basically my neighbors, so they're Harbor Creek folks. So that was really interesting. Yes, for a country. Oh yeah, here. We'll put this up on the main screen. Yeah, are you aware a schemer has imported countless? Yeah, the Erie Institute has been doing it for years. And then now watch this. I'll get a bunch of hate mail from this one. The League of Women Voters are the only ones allowed to talk to the new immigrants. And guess what party they represent? The Democrats. I know I got to give Tom Eddy this one. I do. He literally said, "Hey, wait a minute. How can we come in and talk to the new folks too? Because it's a two-party system." They told him no. So talk about election interference. They're not even allowing the Republicans to talk to these illegal immigrants that they're dumping in Erie. They are here in Erie. If you think they're not, you better get up and get a different brand of coffee, because it ain't cutting it. They had them up in Summit. They got caught. They were bringing them in on aircraft, and they were putting fences up, and then they got caught, breaking the law. Oh my God, the feds breaking the law, and they weren't being supervised. They were minors, so they were there illegally. So in the middle of the night, they must have picked them up, out they gone. So if you don't think Erie's a sanctuary city, just because Rainbow Joe won't say it, it's one. And I'm not getting into details how I know this stuff, because I know how the Democrats are. They are on full blast coming to get you. And it's just wow. So yeah, I mean, yeah, let me know. I get it. We know that. It's big. Oh no, Erie's never going to go red again. No way. Are you aware Schumer's important countless immigrants that we know about Erie never go red in any fact? No, Erie is done. Erie is it's done. It's dying. We keep cranking millions and millions and millions of dollars into it for what? People are leaving. People are leaving the city. So we had Supervisor Dean Pepicello on here the other night. We're talking about, people leaving Erie. And, they're saying that they're leaving Harbor Creek, which I doubt. We see new houses and new subdivisions and new apartments being built all the time. I know I just have a, Harbor Creek math, but, when you add things, that means more. I don't know if this is part of that Common Core math where it's totally different, but hey, it is. But I don't know about that. read, but honestly, yeah, read the comments in here. Oh, and I want to thank you for the donation on the Cash App. I wanted to take a minute to say thank you. I wanted to see you in the room and appreciate that. That's what buys us new stuff. My next new invest. I think I'm going to upgrade my microphone, so this one's a little kind of like you can't hear back here. But hey, when you're doing it yourself, you try to be as most cost effective. That's why we ask for donations to just literally keep the lights on, because our electric bill went up like 30%. So yeah, so did everybody else's. Um, so there's just so much going on, on the national scene because it's coming up to election time. And you know what? I got to be honest with you. I've had time to really kind of dig into this whole debate, the Stephanopoulos interview, and the things that Biden is still doing. And it's funny, not ha ha funny, that his Mrs. Sniffy Joe has become the surrogate out there campaigning. They're keeping Joe locked up in the basement. Um, there's a video out. I couldn't post it on my Facebook page. Dig around about how Joe Biden was talking about somebody else's wife. I watched that video at least 10 times to just go, "Are you kidding me?" He said that. I can't listen. As many shots as I take, as many boundaries as I push, I can't even say this on air. What he said. He said it. I thought maybe it was an AI thing. It's not. It's just floating around out there. Dig it up. It was, because Sniffy Joe was addressing NATO. That will help you tune down and fine tune that where you need to look. Because remember, he founded NATO. And now, some real quick math. Um, Joe Biden was 6 years old when NATO was formed. So, Joe was a real go-getter, even at 6 years old. I don't know if he was in Scranton or if he was in Delaware yet when he was 6 years old. Yeah, we get that. So Erie's done. There's nothing we can do. All we can do is save Erie County, because the Dems have taken over, and that's fine. And they're recruiting more. They're bringing them in, but the population isn't. He's not even bringing enough in to basically um, sharpest before. Oh yeah, yeah. We also say he's sharpest before 8 p.m. Yeah, Joe has to. He has to, no heavy appointments after 8. You know, I thought the president was kind of like, according to Joe Biden, he's in charge of the world. So, after 8 o'clock, everybody just shut their lights off, go back to bed. We'll come back out. It's almost like, how we used to fight back in the revolutionary times where we had rules and you came on the battleground and you had to agree to the terms and the volleys and who retreated and oy vey. There's a funny video I put on my Facebook page. It's about that. It's making fun of the old rules of war. But so we got a lot of things going on the show. It's just going to be kind of like freewheeling like we normally do. It's just an issue of, we're here to take your calls. We have a special guest that will come in at 8:30. We're pretty sure he's going to do a video call, a video conference. I think Brenda sent him the link. He said he received it, so that's good. So yeah, I mean, let me know. That's another reason why mail-in ballots are BS, and I get that. They're a good tool. I know some people don't like them. I know there was a lot of shenanigans in the Philadelphia area, but I'm telling you, when I was on Erie County Council, we ran by as tight as we could. We had an outside entity do the audit, and of course, they gave us thumbs up. They gave us thumbs up. They gave Philly thumbs down. They gave Allegheny County. Kim Hunter and I went to that up at Penn State Barron. It was really informative. All these big Democrat cities failed except for Erie, because Erie County, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, as a county councilman on the Board of Elections, we kept a tight ship. That's why you guys better pay attention, and y'all booties better be signing up for some poll watching and go down to the courthouse and watch it, because the Democrats are now in charge of the Board of Elections. Yeah, they are in charge of the Board of Elections. Why do you think they spent over $200,000 to install Pretzel in this seat? That way they can control the Board of Elections. They can control county council. They are now the governing and the majority of voting. They always were, but we had, several Democrats that were pretty reasonable, and it was just an issue of, hey, we could work it, and we could work it well, So other than that, my phone keeps going to like quiet. I don't like that. It's supposed to stay awake. I have to stay awake. They ran to juice up the population to print ballots. Well, let's talk about voting. Look what just happened in the House today. It passed. 198 Democrats voted against legislation to make it law that you have to be a U.S. citizen to vote in a U.S. election, a federal election. Now, the states can play with this all they want, and they're going to, but right now we have to worry about they want the presidential one. 198 Democrats voted to say you don't have to be a citizen to vote in our elections. I would like these 198 knuckleheads to go down to, I don't know, Venezuela, show up and say, hey, we're here to vote. They would probably shoot you. They would probably shoot you in your tracks. Let's go to Colombia and say, hey, we're here to vote. We're not citizens, but we're here to vote. They would probably shoot you dead in your tracks. But we leave 10 million illegal immigrants here, aliens, however you want to call it. I'm not calling them what the government wants us to call them. They're not supposed to be here. They came here illegally. It's been part of the big plan to bump up their numbers for election time because they know that Joe Biden's going to get his ass kicked. And we know this. So the Democrats, 198 boys and girls, I want you to repeat after me. 198 Democrats voted in favor of allowing non-U.S. citizens to vote in a federal election. I want you to think about that for a minute. And I wish somebody could get me a list. This just happened today. 198. Okay. Brenda just sent me. I have the videos ready, so we'll just give me a couple minutes here. And I would like to have a list of these 198 traitors that should be charged with treason to violate the Constitution. That we can just let these killers, these people that had been released from prisons, not bullshit, it's been verified, they're dumping their problems on us. And they come here, and who's taking the brunt of it? But women. But women don't want to vote for Trump. But it's okay for the Democrats to allow people to come in, rape, kill our wives, our girlfriends, our children for votes. For votes. This all comes down to they want to keep that power, and they will sell. They've sold their souls, but now they're selling your souls. 198 Democrats said it's okay. It's okay. Somebody give me a list. Let's put a list together. Somebody, Kim. I don't know who. I would love to post this on a video format. I'll change it over to a video and give you their names of these traitors that they took an oath. These elected officials took an oath to the Constitution. And every time they vote, they just piss on it. Our forefathers, I wish they could come back as zombies and see what they have done to this country. It is absolutely, really? Did Bob Casey vote for that? There you go. He shows up every 6 years for election. And then now he's voting for these illegals to come here and vote. They can't read the language, I doubt. They can't speak the language, I doubt. So how are they going to vote? They're going to have handlers, or they'll make special accommodations and have the ballots done up in habla Espanol. Got to say no, people. Got to vote these Bob Caseys out of office. These people, you talk about a threat to democracy, he's a threat to democracy. He has stood ground with Black Lives Matter. He has stood ground with defund the police. He has stood ground everything Sniffy Joe has come up with because he is nothing but a stay in step Democrat. I would give him a little bit of leeway if he would, like, I don't know, have a thought on his own and basically say, well, I don't really agree with, having our police officers shot and killed in the streets because, Black Lives Matter. It's okay. It's mostly peaceful as we're shooting our police officers like dogs and burning targets down because that's social justice. You people, I know you people in this room are solid. I get it. I give you a task. Talk to your neighbors, get them out and vote. If they need a ride to go vote in person in November, please do that. If you can't get one, give us a call. I don't know. Maybe I'll rent a big fancy bus from LG, the folks down in Northeast that make those beautiful buses. We'll get one, the party bus. It's called the Shank the Tank voting party bus. Come out in favor of president. And it's funny how these foreign countries are supporting Donald Trump. They showed these Kim Hunter. I'll slap that on the main screen. The Danish prime ministers come out in favor of President Trump. Why is that? Because he knows it's going to keep world peace. It affects everybody. What Donald Trump does, because according to Joe Biden, he's in charge of the country. He said that on the Stephanopoulos interview. Google it up. He is in charge of the world. Sorry, world. That's how powerful Joe is. But I got to go to bed at 8 o'clock. Nothing says the most powerful man in the world, according to Joe, other than have to go to bed at 8 o'clock. He gets up. I've heard rumors. I don't know. I don't hang around the White House. I'm not invited. At about 11, and then he works a couple hours, goes out and talks in front of NATO, and absolutely makes an ass of himself. He embarrassed himself, his wife, the American people, what he said on that stage. Google it up, look it up, go on TikTok, look it up. I can't, any contact. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, that's a good. We'll put that on the main screen here. Let me know. Hey, maybe if I always call him Schemer, had any contact with our sister city in China anymore? Trips planned. I think that bullshit went away because they were all scared to death of you had to wear 3-4 masks before you go outside, or drive your bike. Or I watched a video of people swimming in a pool with paper masks on. That's how ridiculous this whole thing was. So let's see, Brenda, do we did you say you had that video ready? Is he ready to come on? Yep, there it is.
On this vote, the yeas are 221, the nays are 198. The bill is passed. Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Yep, there it is. I mean, you're going to see how this thing goes. It's like Dan Laughlin had it scheduled up for voter ID in Pennsylvania, and of course, it got so far, and then it's going to die because they don't want it because it's discrimination. It's racist to make people have ID to go vote, but it's not racist to have ID to go buy some wine or some cigarettes or anything other than voting. I never understood that. I never, 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 never understood that. It's racist to ask someone for ID to vote. Why? How many people in the room don't have ID? I bet you everybody does because you need one. I get it. I know. I get it. That's our sister city. I didn't know that, but hey, I mean, I remember that Biden buys fuel from Russia that gives our cash to Ukraine. No, I get it. Yeah, we will put that highlight up there. But yeah, I mean, there's so many things going on. There's so many things to talk about. You know, it's just truly amazing, and you're going to see less and less of a Sniffy Joe. I heard a rumor. I heard a rumor that Sniffy Joe's coming to Erie. I've asked. I've asked all my peeps, all my intel, and my covert operation people. Of course, they keep this stuff really, really secret, just like, we just found out a couple days ago that, Butler, Trump will be going to Butler this weekend, which unfortunately I can't because I have to work Friday and then I have to go DJ and do the big flag and do the shoot with an honor guard up in the honor guard up at Rolling for Veterans on Saturday. It's this weekend. We're looking like really good weather. We're going to start out at Plyler's and it's a great party up there. Last year they had a striker up there. Um, I can't remember who the grand marshal is, but they always have somebody cool to come up take pictures with. And then they ride in the parade. The striker was really cool. How many people can say they were in an escorted uh, motorcycle rally with a state trooper and an army striker? If you don't know what an army striker is, it's a big wheeled vehicle. It's got like what I can't remember, 3 on each side, 4 on each side. It's a tank on rubber wheels. So you can make it up any way. You can do troop carriers. They put different weapons on it. Uh, it's a badass rolling machine. So Brenda, do we have our guest in the queue?
We do not yet.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if he locked in, came in, or because he said he got the link. So he's an army officer. Trust me. You say 8:30, he's going to be there at like 8:29 and half seconds. Because as a sergeant, we have to be there 10 minutes early to make sure that our lieutenants and captains and stuff get there on time. So that's just how that plays out. But Daryl will be coming. He's a great guy, great patriot. We'll talk about some stuff. He's got a whole list of things he wants to talk about. I told him there's no getches on this show. We're not here to embarrass you. We're here to just bring a common voice together and a place to where it gets shared on different formats. And it's getting bigger. I know Kim has been handing out business cards left and right. When I'm out on the boots on the ground, getting out ballots, trust me, I have a conversation about, hey, do you need a ballot? Are you registered? You need to change your party affiliation. Lady stopped me yesterday. Brian, can I have my daughter change her party affiliation? It's a one-stop shop. You can register to vote. You can change your party affiliation. You can change your address. You can request a mail-in ballot. Whatever you want to do is on that form. I said, nope, you got some time. We're starting to pay attention, but it's getting close. But yeah, we want to welcome Joe to Erie. We want to show, Erie, that it's just not, your Andre Hortons and your Chucks and your Tyler Tituses. They're actually people here that work, that actually care, that, I don't know, that are Republicans and that are conservatives. I was reading an article that the Erie County Republican Party had posted that the registration numbers are absolutely phenomenal. Meaning we have, I don't know, it has to be at least 50, 100 times more people registering for Republicans than Democrats. I think they only had like 1,300. We had a ton. So that means the message is getting out. Every time Sniffy Joe opens his mouth and lies, does Donald Trump kind of fluff stuff sometimes? Sure, he does. That's their jobs. But when Joe Biden during a debate looks at the camera and says, "I haven't lost any soldiers in my watch in the last century, decade," bullshit. You got the 13 killed on the Afghan pullout, and then you had 2 Navy SEALs. Unfortunately, they were not with us anymore. And boy, I tell you what, Facebook has been on me tight. That's too many likes. Bang. Yeah, that's too many posts. bang. They have been just banging me left and right, man. I, I've been suspended more in the last 6 months than I have the last 6 years because I think their algorithms are paying attention and they're watching the show and they're like, oh, these conservative people. And that's why we made sure that we had backup. That's why we
He's
went
coming
with,
in.
all right, thanks. Well, good evening, sir. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear. Brian, how are you doing, sir?
We are just breaking hearts of Democrats every day. I literally go out and with the big Trump trailer, voter registration, getting people to change parties, and it is a boots on the ground, and that's why when I started the show as an Army sergeant, I like this is where we're going to go. So, you are our guest. Give us a quick rundown who you are.
Well,
For the
Brian,
people who
first,
don't know you.
thank you for what you do. Just like in war, you can't win. As much as the Air Force likes to claim that they're the top, you can't win without boots on the ground. That's the key to military operation and strategy: boots on the ground. So, just like in political campaigns, you got to have someone out there knocking on doors, doing the work, and doing it right. I know my Air Force wife right now is sitting there thinking and laughing to herself, like, "Yeah, nice try, Daryl. Like, good one." Well, Brian, just for background, again, my name is Daryl Owens. I am from Watford, Pennsylvania, and for many years I lived and went to Fort LaBeouf High School, graduated, went to American University, then went down to D.C. and I worked for Congressman Glenn Thompson and Senator Pat Toomey as their national security advisor. So I did all of their defense and then foreign policy and intelligence and veterans issues on the Hill. But I'm also an Army officer as well. And in fact, Brian, I have big news to share. As of yesterday, I am officially a major now in the Army Reserve. So,
Well, congratulations.
yeah, thank you.
True.
That was big. So I gotta, we'll have to get the promotion up and ready to go up here in Erie here later on this year when my wife gets back from on active duty Air Force right now at a Goodfellow Air Force Base. But we got two great kids and a beautiful wife who's in the Air Force, and I'm a policy expert on veterans and defense. And I love working for veterans every day now as on behalf of America's Warrior Partnership. So here today in my personal capacity, just talking about great issues and being a great citizen of Northwest Pennsylvania and loving America and loving our veterans and loving our nation, loving our men and women who are serving every day, both in the Air Force and the Army. And of course, we can't forget the Navy and the Marines too. They're also good folks, whoever out there listening. So thank you for all you're doing. And in fact, Brian, I'm sure you saw earlier this year, I had that big op-ed in the Erie Times News about the USS Halliburton.
Yes.
Trying to get that to come up to Erie.
That was an amazing project. I'm not tooting my horn, but I knew about that project probably about a year and a half prior to it going public. Because I was on county council, Dr. Joe Fott, he's a Harbor Creek guy, Harbor Creek teacher. And, he's like, hey, you're on county council. You think we're going to get support? I said, well, we've got several veterans on there. And of course, I called that wrong. I was shocked at some of the veterans. I'm not going to call names, as we try to keep it nice when our guests are here. That they didn't support it. But I tell you what, when the cards were on the table and it was time to vote for that resolution supporting the Halliburton commandery, they all voted yes.
I'll tell you what, Brian, thank you for doing that. And I got to tell you, I think Erie County Council really did a great job leading on that one. And thank you for all your support. And Joe Fatt, too, by the way, he has really done a great job with the Warriors to Washington and also helping lead the whole initiative here to get the USS Halliburton up to Erie. It's a great piece of history. It fits in with the incredible maritime history that Erie has. And look, as two Army guys sitting here tonight talking about a great ship bringing to Erie, I mean, Erie really does have an incredible military and veteran background and heritage, and highlighting that, having that as one of the showpieces up there on Lake Erie, highlighting everything that Erie is right now is just spectacular on the veteran side. And so I see Kim Hunter out there. Hi, Kim. I see you're out there. Air Force #1.
It's been itching all week for you to come on here because you were at Jake Banda's event. You come up for the spring dinners, and you're just that guy that everybody wants to talk to because do you ever have a bad day? I mean, you were just that guy that never seems to have a bad day. And being an officer, I don't know, man. Especially now a major. I mean, you're a pretty young major, actually. That's pretty good.
Thank you. I got to tell you, I have a good friend of mine, formerly a good friend of mine. He was a Medal of Honor recipient, Leo Thorsness, and I used to know him back in the day. And He was a POW in Vietnam, and he helped found America's War Partnership and get that off the ground. But afterwards, he did some amazing things, and he was one of the true heroes of America. And when he came back, he gave me my boss at the time, Jim Lorraine, a great piece of advice. He said, "Daryl, any day you can wake up and strap on your boots, and the door handle is on the inside of the door, it's a good day." So great words to live by. If you can wake up and open the door from the inside, you're off to a good start. So
Yeah, no, that's a great one. And and we were talking about the Holly Burton. I said, listen, guys, this is a win-win for Erie County. It's a win for Pennsylvania.
it is.
It's a Perry class ship. And the way Dr. Fott explained it to me, he goes, this will probably be the last vessel or ship, however they refer to them, to be donated because it's still diesel. All the newer ships are
Nuclear.
they're nuclear. So they don't want nuclear reactors sitting in someone's bay. And let's be honest, Erie and Erie County needs, pardon the pun here, an anchor to get people down on the bayfront. Nothing against Nick Scott, nothing against the bands that have going on, the pizzas and the beer, but we need people to come down here. We actually, have people that have been served on the Holly Burden excited that they get to come back to their ship that they served on and the bunks they slept on. So it's just an issue. It's a win-win. The biggest pushback we had on county council was, well, this is going to be expensive and it's going to cost the taxpayers a fortune. I said, you're dead wrong. I said, Dr. Fott stood there for 30 minutes, gave a beautiful presentation on this is a 5013, I believe, C entity that has to prove to the Navy they can provide the bills, how to pay the bills, and it doesn't become a burden on the taxpayer.
And they're doing a great job raising money, being out there on the ground, at basically informing the public as to what this is. It's not just about the Navy, by the way. And by the way, Fermi, thank you. Go Navy too. All my friends out there are Navy, big fans. But this is about a military museum dedicated to the veterans of Erie County in Northwest Pennsylvania. It's going to have, we're talking with Joe recently about this and trying to figure out a way to expand the museum, trying to see if we can get an M1 tank out there, to see if we get an F-15 or F-16 on the ground. I just got a great op-ed on John Boyd, by the way, for everyone listening today. John Boyd is a colonel in the Air Force who is the father of American air dominance. And I wrote a big op-ed that's coming out in the Erie Times News next weekend on the 21st of July. So get ready to go out and buy the Erie Times News. I know it's hard to go out and buy the Times News anymore because it's not delivered to your doorstep much anymore, and that doesn't print as often. But it's going to be a great op-ed talking about that. It's going to be a full page spread about how the guy who fathered air dominance for the American Air Force is an Erie native, and about how guys like that, we have so many great stories from Erie that we're not highlighting. Not only just great stories about people, but industry too. We have so many great industries here in Pennsylvania, especially in Erie, that are so pivotal, absolutely pivotal to the war effort in both Ukraine right now, to the Army, to the Navy, across the board, and what we do overseas and helping defend America. That I don't think we're doing a good job telling that story, to be very frank with you, Brian. I think it's something we need to work on.
If you don't learn from history, you're bound to repeat it or forget it.
Absolutely.
Look at what happened to the USS Cole when it was attacked by terrorists and it blew a hole in it. Where did the drive shaft originally was built? It was built here in Erie. They didn't tell anybody. It was a secret, but it was built here because they have a lathe big enough to turn this drive shaft. So when they thought it might be damaged, they very quietly brought it back because the machine. Thank you, Erie, for not throwing old stuff away. It's a double-edged sword. I mean, I totally get it, but they didn't have. They still had this lathe. They were able to put that drive shaft on this original lathe, spin it up, check it out. It was fine. Well,
and Brian, I have to tell you, that's a great example. I love that example because Erie is pivotal, and that they were the unsung hero of this stuff. And I think we have to showcase what Erie does more often, especially in the defense space, especially as we go forward in Congress, especially. A lot of money, as the federal government has so much money to spend, a lot of it's defense dollars because we have so many requirements we need overseas, and how America really leads the world. That's how we are. That those defense dollars aren't going away, and Erie's got to be better about telling that story to be able to go after those defense dollars for its industry, especially in Erie. Elwood Forge is a great example. Elwood Forge, it's based out of Warren, it's based out of Elwood down just outside of Butler in Pennsylvania. But they have two of the big heavy machine presses that are out there, and they still to this day do the big drive shaft, the big cannons, the bunker buster bombs. All of those are made around the Erie area, Northwest PA. Nowhere else can do that. That's an amazing technology, an amazing piece of history to have that we can do this with here in Erie. And that story's got to tell. We need to showcase those items more. And hopefully, I really want to try to do my best to start writing more op-eds to talk to more about this, try to get those voices out there to show America, really, not just Erie, not just Pennsylvania, but show the nation how pivotal Erie is in this stuff. And not just Erie, I should say, Northwest Pennsylvania, in creating our defense and ensuring our defense. Did you know that the vast majority of the submarine components that go in a nuclear submarine, a majority of them are made in Pennsylvania?
If you just got to know this stuff. It's easy to focus on the negative stuff.
Yep.
But I was an Army recruiter, and we would take the old M6. Well, back then they weren't old. We would take the M60s out. We would take the firing mechanism out. We'd chain them to the table, and people could check them out. The guy walks up, he goes, "May I?" And I said, "Sure." He took it, opened it all up, and I said, "Were you a veteran?" He's like, "No, actually, see this part right here? I made this part." Right there at the aluminum shop, right there at 12th and East Avenue. Now they do tire rims, but back I forget the name of it was a Kaiser aluminum, but I don't know.
Man, yeah,
but it's changed.
Yeah.
The point was, he knew exactly the part he made, back in the 50s, early 60s for the M60 machine gun, which it's basically not even used anymore.
Yeah.
But it was the point, we manufacture some really cool stuff. Lord Corporation, huge contributor to the original Blackhawks. There was a big huge rubber grommet they use up there for whatever. They just showed it on the news. They built it right here on 12th Street when Lord's was on 12th Street. So what big plans do you have in your bright young future?
Well, truthfully, right now, I'm enjoying being a dad, a father, and a great husband. And I'm enjoying my time being a veterans advocate and helping out our nation's veterans and being an advocate for Northwest Pennsylvania. I'm looking forward. I've got an exploratory committee open right now. We're looking at a potential run for office in the future, but no announcement. I'm not a candidate for anything yet. So I'm just out there trying to be a good citizen and just enjoying talking to everybody. That's the biggest thing. I love being a Northwest Pennsylvania guy. That's who I am at heart. That's why I do this. I love talking with you, Brian. I love talking to the folks. That's why I come back up and I help support good candidates who are out there any way I can. But I'm out there on the ground. We've got a lot of good folks running for office this year. I love Micah Goring. I mean, his race against Ryan Bizzarro, he has such an uphill battle against that guy because Ryan Bizzarro is so entrenched in that position. But Micah's just a great guy, and I'm happy to support him. That's just one example. Matt Strupp. I can't pronounce Strupp's last name.
We just called Lieutenant Strupp.
Yeah, that's it. The Sport LT over there too. Great guy as well. But also, Dan Laughlin. Dan Laughlin out there. I mean, talk about a great guy who's being targeted by every single Democrat across the state of Pennsylvania, going after one state Senate candidate, one state Senate race because on a razor's edge. Even state rep seats right now, those are on a razor's edge because of the tight majority in Harrisburg. So to be able to be out there, we gotta be honest. I'm thankful that the Republican Party right now has some good candidates up there who are up there running for those seats, like Micah, like LT, and like Dan Laughlin. Got some great folks who are running. And if you put up candidates, good candidates, it's about candidates at the end of the day. If a candidate go out and talk to people and lead them and talk to people about what you're doing and why you're there, that's the bottom line. Right? You do the work, you explain who you're there for, you try to do the right thing for the right reasons. That's what's important.
I was on Dan Laughlin's thread, and of course he was talking about Jimmy Wirtz and all the crappy things that he's done politically and personally. And some guy chimed in and he's just banging on Dan pretty hard. So I went onto his profile. He's from Philadelphia. I said, buddy, why don't you go somewhere where you actually have a voice in this race? And when you fix Philadelphia, come talk to us, because you guys are absolutely in the pooper out there in Philadelphia, So
yep.
I get it. But no,
hey, look, I love Philadelphia. I was just down there recently. I was helping a good friend of mine, Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick. He's in a tough race. He's in a Democrat +2 district, and Brian Fitzpatrick knows he's a great candidate. He knows that district. He's a very good candidate. He's a retired FBI agent. He's won, I think, 4 terms in a row down there in that district, even though it's a majority Democrat district, because he does the work. he does it well. And I was happy to go down there and support him, but Philadelphia is different than Erie. Fundamentally, Brian, you're 100% right. And by the way, Angela, dzień dobry, Chapane rozumiem po. That's the extent of my Polish that I know from my time overseas. But
I'm glad you
Strop-Czeski. Sorry,
Yeah.
my apologies.
I know Matt is just tough. He calls me his campaign sergeant because I'm his guy in the corner. Hey, don't put that up there. Take that down. This is a technical advisor. He goes, you're my campaign sergeant. I'm like,
that's
all
it.
right.
Behind every good LT is a great NCO. That's the bottom line.
That's I understand that. I forgot to ask you, did you actually do the official silver dollar salute? Do you guys do that at promotions or just when you get commissioned?
Just during commissions, we do that.
I wasn't sure because
the first salute. We always do the silver dollar exchange. Yep.
I was at Fort Lewis, and I was probably like an E3 at the time, and I was a photographer. That was my job. I was an Army photographer, so I had to go out and get these lieutenants. They had just gone through summer camp, their promotions. I take my pictures. I step outside, and then here comes the crowd. I'm just standing there watching the world go by. And Lieutenant stops. He goes, "Excuse me, Private. Why aren't you at the position of attention?" "Oh, I am so sorry, sir." I give him my salute. He goes, "I need to see your hand." I'm like, "What, am I gonna get slapped or something?" He handed me the silver dollar. I was his first enlisted a salute. So I didn't know that.
That's awesome. Bravo.
Yeah.
That's terrific.
So then I figured it out. So then I stood there with my hand out saluting. And I figured this came out quick. I'm getting a little cash tip here. I walked away with a pocket full of silver dollars. But yeah, I wasn't sure if that was a promotional thing or just you get commissioned or.
Yeah, my understanding is it's just a commissioning when you do your very first salute ever as an officer. That's the silver dollar salute.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you brought it up. There's one reason I'm going to talk about this. You brought it up.
That's fair. That's fair. It's for the record. I did bring it up.
I'm not a mean guy. You want to come in, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
We practice my Kennedy accent. Oh yeah, said for the record that brought it up first.
That's a good imitation.
Thanks.
Of Kennedy.
Working on it.
All these kids in the room are going to like, who's that?
Yeah.
But I had heard your name kicked around. I'm not asking for any give me's or anything like that. I've heard your name kicked around, and I looked around and I went, well, if this guy is going to run for something, there's a guy I'm definitely going to throw my hat behind to help. So I'm letting you know here on my show, whatever you decide to do in your future, and if you decide to throw your hat in the political ring, you come talk to me. We will help you at whatever your endeavors are. Just like I'm helping Dave McCormick, Army Strong, Pete Mitchell.
Absolutely.
He's a good guy. He's a Marine, but hey, he still gets it. I was talking to him today. We got some projects coming up, but Army Strong. I have 2 yard signs in my front yard right now. Stacy Garrity, Army.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave
McCormick, Army Strong. Of course, I got Chinese-made LED lights, making sure they're nice and bright at night. But, so yeah, it's just an issue. That's why we met years ago. We've been in all these functions together. We talk politics. Your social media is amazing. Now talk about your organization.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, thank you for that. I'm trying to pick up on my social media. It's something that I've always been very bad at. I'm an intelligence officer by background, so doing social media it's always so hard. I don't feel like I'm oversharing on everything, and I don't.
Well, it's like an oxymoron, actually, because intelligence, you're quiet.
Exactly. Trying to share on social media has been very, very difficult. Just this past week, I was down with Lee Greenwood. By the way, Lee Greenwood. God bless the USA.
Gotcha.
Lee Greenwood. I wanted to show you tonight, Brian. I actually have his set list from that concert. By the way, he gave it to my son. My son did the big USA chant for Lee Greenwood down there.
I saw that on your social media.
How perfect is that?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing where I think kids today are getting that disconnect where they don't have, even with as active as you and your wife are in the different branches and how crazy your schedules are, you can see that you're doing the good parental thing. And I think that's one of the core problems we're having with our society is they're missing that. I don't care if you're 2 dads or 2 moms. That's great. As long as there's 2 to show a combined force, because boy, those little buggers get smart. and
They
it takes
do.
both of you and all your training to take them back and make sure they're good.
I got to tell you, I tell you, I'm so lucky. I have two incredible kids, and they are amazing. And I could not be happier. But they learn so fast, and they grow so fast, and you miss so much every time you're gone, and it hurts being away. But I think the greatest piece of advice I ever got from my parents about being a father was saying, "Hey, you know what? You're always a good father as long as you try."
I told them
Like there's no bad parenting if you're willing to try to put the effort in and try to do your best, everything you can, and go all in.
and
So
they don't come with an owner's manual. They don't come with an SOP or an SOG that you can put page G.
okay, Dave Fisher manual, chapter 6. Oh yeah, oh there it is. I found it. Yes.
Especially an Army guy, an Army officer, everything's dress right, dress 1, 2, 3, 4. Not in parenting. Nope.
Yeah. Oh, field manual does not address that diaper changes that are blowouts. Oh man, where do I go to this page?
Oh, I get it. I get it. So yeah, I mean, this is why when we met, I liked you. I said, we always connected. You showed a lot of love and support for Kim Hunter and myself when we ran for office. That was very nice. We appreciated that. Here's this guy with a great smile coming up and saying, "Hey, this is who I am. I'm here to help you. Here's a little check. Here's a little check. Do the best you can." All right, we did the best we can. And that's why I said when it's time, you don't hesitate to tap the sergeant and say, "Hey, I need your help." And I can't speak for him, but I know she will be there. But
yeah. Good people know good people. That's the fundamental bottom line. I have 3 fundamental rules of life. It's good people know good people. You can't rush greatness. And I forget the last one is, but I want to remember it. I'll let you know that one too.
Right. Not any secrets. What does your wife do in the Air Force? Generic.
So my wife's also an intelligence officer as well.
Oh wow.
So
boy, I would not want to see an argument in your house.
Actually, we don't. She's amazing. That's the great thing, is that we're a great team, bottom line. And I think that's I wish I had I could write a book on like the fundamentals of how to have a good relationship, because really it's find your soulmate and be best friends with them, and life is awesome. That's that's the bottom line.
But I was just like, I was just thinking about, you hear all these intelligence stories, intelligent stories. You guys are both in the corner with your flashlights coming up with a plan. I'm going to get him tomorrow because and let's face it, we always say the Air Force is where the smart people go.
Yes, and I mean, I pick my wife. I tell her, this is where all the beautiful people go, because my wife's gorgeous. So I was like, wow, the beautiful people go to the Air Force. That's it, and here I am over in the Army. So
I was not going to say that, but I spent 6 months on an air base. I'm like, this is where all the pretty girls go. So it's just an issue of, that's a running. Yeah, I spent 6 months at Lowry Air Force Base in Denver, Colorado. It's closed now, but it was a deactivated air base, and then they had all the jets there, the B-52.
Oh man, yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, that's where they practice loading their bombs. So
yeah,
we got to see all this cool stuff, firsthand while we were there. And I got to tell you, they have the best enlisted clubs I had ever seen in my life. When we walked into the EM club on Lowry Air Force Base, it was like stepping in to downtown Denver. You had no idea, other than, remember, the pretty girls are probably an officer's daughter.
That's also good to know. But I got to tell you, actually, part of the thing is now on bases, all the enlisted clubs, all the officer clubs, for the most part, are gone. They're not there anymore. Yeah, those are all gone. They call them all-purpose clubs now. They do something else with them, but there's no more officer clubs, which has been in my opinion, a problem. I know they recently did it for a long time too, is because there was a drinking culture on base, and it led to a lot of issues and a lot of fraternization. Got it, but to not have an O club or an E club where you go to have your mentors there, your senior leaders, your senior officers. If you're a junior officer talking to a senior officer, you're a junior enlisted talking to a senior enlisted, to have the mentorship at night and learn, like, hey, this is how to conduct yourself. I think the military misses that, because now everyone's going off base and you're having problems with DUIs and all kinds of problems. And if you're especially a junior officer, a junior NCO, it's a one strike and you're out. That's it. You're killing great people's careers because of really dumb mistakes that could have been avoided from the beginning, in my opinion.
Totally agree with you. And then when I was active duty, I was a photographer. We worked with MPI, CID. We flew
Yeah.
all over the place, took pictures I can't even talk about, even X amount of years down the range because they never happened. Then I was an MP, and I tell you what, when you learn about the Uniform Code of Military Justice, you
Yeah.
know there is no civil rights. You're violating my civil rights, buddy. You signed that away a long time ago. You get cuffed and stuffed, and they have to be tough. You're dealing with tough people. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was nice when we had the EM club. We could kind of stagger back to the base, and then the SPs, like if we staggered off too far on the runways, they'd kind of scoot us back in the right direction. So it was controlled, and and it alleviated a lot of problems. We didn't want to go downtown because we knew the Denver cops were just waiting for us to come off base because they know they could arrest us and they'd get a lot of money out of us. But yeah, so that's some interesting stuff, and I guess things have changed, and it was nice. The officers, you always had these, you have officer and gentleman movies, and about the
Yeah.
old clubs, and they sit around their cigars and talk all snotty. But
Well, Brian, I have to say, I got a great piece of advice I got to share that I think encapsulates that is that you always want to be a good leader, but a good leader comes from experience, and experience comes from bad decisions, right? So to have to go forward, if you're gonna be a good leader, you have to figure out at some point you've messed up. Everyone done it. Patton's goofed up. Eisenhower had mistakes. Name one great Army general that has not at one point made mistakes and moved forward from it.
No, I totally agree. And most of them, if you read their books and their writings, they feel deeply sad that some of their mistakes cost soldiers their lives. I mean, that is not what officers want to do. They don't like body counts. They don't like to see us being brought home and coffin draped caskets. That's not what they want. And it's like people always ask me, well, what do you think about this conflict? I said, I hate it. I said, it's dumb. There's no real reason to it. There's no in, there's no out. And nobody wants to see coffin come home with the flags draped around them. Veterans don't do it. I'm on the honor guard, and we say goodbye to a lot of veterans. I'm blessed that our veterans, unfortunately, their time has expired, and we say goodbye to them. It's not like they've been combat veterans that have been killed in action and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's a saving grace. And this, at 60 years old, we're not out there fighting and running up hills, but we're in the rear with the gear, making sure our veterans are taken care of here at home.
And I think that, so to go back, you asked a while ago about, kind of what I do for a living now. Well, one, I want to tell you, I'm still a volunteer bugler. So I played trumpet my whole life. I've played at countless military funerals in the past. Brian, if you ever need a bugler, do not use the auto tune. Call me. I'll be there. That's one of the things I love to do the most in the world. I think it's such an honor to do that. I've done it in the worst conditions known to mankind, where it's freezing and windy in Waterford, Pennsylvania, and I almost froze my lips the bugle a couple of times. But I would do it again tomorrow. It means that much to me.
In Erie County, do you know Joe Bonacci?
Very well. He was just messaging me about trying to figure out if I was going to be around this weekend to be up there at the Roland to do a bugler. Yeah.
Yeah, that was when he's like, Brian, I need a bugler for Saturday. I said, oh, I don't really know anybody that does it. I know
you do.
I know how we do it.
Yep.
But I said, so yeah, thanks for that. I'm going to put that I'm going to store that in my file for next time. But yeah, Joe Bonacci,
for next time. Yeah. Let me know.
Yeah, Joe Bonacci, great guy. I always get a call. Sergeant, you ready for a mission? Yes, Pop. What do you got? And hey, we need a veteran move. We need this fix. Move this refrigerator. Whatever you need, Pop.
Joe is one of the good ones, and him and Joe Fat together, those are the dynamic duo up there. But also the whole thing over there in Northeast, where they've got that massive property going on, the Mellon donation. What a gem! Yes. That place is absolutely incredible. I'm trying to work with Joe to throw some ideas out there, to try to brainstorm about how we can use that properly. That Mercer's campus that was out there. I mean, that is
huge.
It's not just huge, but gorgeous. It is quite the property, and I really want to do it because the veterans experience you could have out there and what you could do with that are just, there's an endless number of possibilities of how big that is. Downside is it's going to cost money doing that. That's a big issue. Trying to figure out how to make that, how to manage it, how to sustain it going forward. It's going to cost money, a lot of fundraising too. So, but to go back one step, so Brian, at America's Word Partnership, I do the government relations at American Square Partnership. I'm the director of government relations there. So what I do is I'm a veterans advocate. So I work with the VA every day, the VSOs in Congress to help what we do on the ground at AWP across the nation. We're in every community out across the nation, including 5 big communities we have set up in the nation, including Permian Basin in Texas, Panhandle of Florida, all of Alaska, the Navajo Nation, Diné Nazba partnership out in Arizona and New Mexico, and then the Indianapolis partnership, and a whole bunch of other partners through Atlanta, Buffalo, et cetera. And we work literally on the ground helping veterans because not every issue is a federal issue, right?
Right.
Most issues you're going to solve at a community level. You're not doing it at a federal level. It's a fundamental premise of the Republican Party in many ways, because you're not trying to put a federal solution to a local problem. You're trying to solve it at a local level as much as you can and build that relationship there, so that if that veteran has another problem in the future, you've got a relationship built and they can help solve it there before it goes any higher. And if there's an issue they can't solve there, they come to American Square Partnership. We bring resources back down to them. We help them solve it there. Period. That's the bottom line.
And that's awesome, because I know I have Joe Bonacci on my show next week. And
Yeah.
I know on county council, people like, Brian, you've done a lot of projects. What is the one you're most proud of? Well, Joe Bonacci needed more room because his demand was getting greater in this little tiny closet they called an office.
Yeah.
So Brenton, the county executive, said, okay, let's see what we can do. We found you a better place, more room. And it's not in the courthouse. I don't know if you've ever been down to his new office.
I have not yet.
Go down there go there now with patience, because they're doing the roundabouts.
I got
His
it.
office is it's very handicapped accessible. There's no big hill because they had to go up the big hill at the courthouse.
Yeah.
I watched Joe had a picture. The guy literally drove onto the sidewalks, drove right up to the door, got out of it so he wouldn't get wet. That's how handicapped accessible it is. They're able to have meetings there. Veterans can come down there and just hang out. They always have fresh coffee and a couple of Danishes if they just want to play some games and just chill out with other veterans. So, that was the project that I signed off on to give Joe Bonacci and his gang more room to take care of the veterans that need more care because of coming off a 20-year conflict. These men and women do need that little extra care, or they just need someone to lean on. And Joe, I don't want to steal his thunder from next week. He told me that his office brings in about $7 million worth of veterans benefits to Erie County. And then I'll make it a Democrat bash. There was members on county council that said, no, that's too much money. You're going to blow the budget. It's $24,000. We're not $24 million. It's $24,000 to buy some furniture and stuff. And you know what Joe did? He went over to a warehouse and didn't even use that money. I said, I went to war with you for you to get you that $24,000. You didn't even use it. You are such a first sergeant. But that's the kind of guy he is. He's like, hey, Brian, I need about $24,000, some furniture, some tables, some type of games and stuff. And I said, okay, whatever. Andre Horton, Mary Rennie, battle it out. We got it passed. He didn't use it. Return the money. So see, all that for nothing. But then I did say, listen, you saved us a fortune on furniture. Could you get new carpeting? This does not stand up to first sergeant, type of stuff. So he did. He took that little bit of money and bought new carpeting. Office looks like $1 million. They're doing it every day. If we'll talk about Joe's stuff next weekend, but today's about you. But they all link together because it's about Veterans Affairs.
Well, Brian, I'm a big fan of Joe Bonacci and the work he's doing up there, helping veterans, and anyone who's out there who doing anything to put their time and energy to helping veterans. Like, you have my absolute praise and admiration. It's the Lord's work, and I love doing it every day. It's something I enjoy doing every day. Lately, though, my job has been to pick fights with the VA because I'll be honest with you, I think Erie has a very good VA system, a VAMC that's actually not bad, but there's still a lot of room for improvement. But the VA system at large is, Brian, it's awful. There's a lot of room for improvement.
That stuff that we watch, and I tell you, there was rumors that the Erie VA was going to close because it was in such bad shape. That all of a sudden you saw construction, you saw They took out the because remember they had the officers' houses on there on 38th Street.
Yeah, you
Those
bet.
are gone. That's a new center. When I was on council, we got a tour. They knew I was a veteran. I got a personal tour of the in-house drug and alcohol hallway. Beautiful. So I think they've made some strides. Can we always do better for our men and women? Absolutely. They earned it. And that's why this whole, again, you don't have to comment. It's just as Brian's saying, we should take care of our veterans before we take care of illegal aliens. So you don't have to comment. That's just my opinion.
Even at a more fundamental level, I think sometimes it has to be about, in many cases, the VA is about protecting the VA model, about protecting the VA system, and not putting the veteran first. At any level, fundamentally, in my opinion, if you are a veteran who needs help, go get the help you need, whether it's at the VA or it's at the optometrist that's 2 blocks away from you. Go get help, and we'll figure out how to take care of it afterwards. To say that you have to drive somewhere to go to to get help, or you have to go a long way, or have to wait in line someplace, or to wait 3 months, it's not okay, in my opinion. Like, you've earned those benefits. These are your benefits. We are in the 21st century. It's not the same model this was before, and it's not our job as a government to protect the VA model and the people who work there and the structure they've created and the union jobs they've created just to keep the system. It's got to be about the veterans first, and only the veterans, period. That's why I'm a huge advocate of community care, trying to let veterans choose where they go. The President Trump passed the Choice Act originally back in 2016, got expanded to the Mission Act to go forward, even to kind of expand it and fix some of the issues that were there. And even to this day, the VA is fighting tooth, hook, and nail to push back on veterans' choice.
Wow.
We have one of the partners we work with right now, and I'll tell you this, Brian, and substance abuse, whether it's drug or alcohol. They have a whole program for inpatient help at the VA. And a lot of times they don't have the people they need there because there's such a demand for it in the community, right? So a lot of the private clinics pay more than the VA does. So they're understaffed, got it. But just part of that. So the demand is for community care to be able to have people, regardless of where they go see, be helped. So community care has this ability through the RRTP program, the residential treatment program at the VA, to go get into community care. Instead of referring people into the VA right now, the VA is declining community care, all the referrals. So they're saying, "Oh, come to the VA in 7 months from now. We're out of money for community care. You can't go see and get help tomorrow like you need. We're going to wait and see you in 7 months from now for substance abuse." It's outrageous, in my opinion. This is the worst case scenario of the VA pushing back in a very political sense, because they don't want to see their model fail. They'd rather see veterans in trouble than their model fail. And it hurts me. It pains me deeply. I don't think that's what we created the VA for. It's not the government of, by, and for the people. That's a VA state trying to keep themselves going and finding a way to stop veterans from getting the care they need. And that hurts.
Which is the total opposite of what they should be doing, because I thought that was kind of their main mission. But, don't take it the wrong way. You sometimes you want to mess up a good system, let the government take it over. That's why, people push back with Obamacare. They knew they had seen other systems that just failed that the government touched. And, with the VA, I know the director up here in Erie, great guy. I work with, I DJ. There's some of their events for their wellness events, just because, I have the time. But, and that's why I wanted to bring you on. I knew that was part of who you are, not the, Intel secret squirrel guy that can't talk about half the stuff he doesn't see. Totally get it. That's why we were talking before the show. I said, I'm not going to ask any intelligent question. If I stumble down a wrong foxhole, say, can't talk about that, Brian, and we'll be perfectly fine. And I don't want any black SUV showing up in front of my house. The rest of warrants. But yeah, so how would they want to get a hold of you? How would they get a hold of you?
So AmericasWarriorPartnership.org. We're online all the time. You can email me directly if you have any veterans out there. dowens@AmericasWarriorPartnership.org. You can also visit my personal website at owensforamerica.com. On there, feel free to contact me any way you can. If you want to contact Brian to the show, call 814-873-3612. And Brian knows how to get in touch with me. Happy to help in any way, especially if you're a veteran and need some help out there. it's my passion. It's what I love helping veterans. It's what I love to do. Let me know, and we'll help to get you taken care of. Whether it's me or my team, or we can catch you with like Gary Sinise Foundation or Elizabeth Dole Foundation or something. We'll make sure you're taken care of.
Yeah, and you've got some great addresses. Those are really simple to remember. It's not like that long of a name. Like, what was that name again? So Brenda will type those up in the text messages. We had a couple questions, but they're kind of long and lengthy. But I don't want to burn up your time. I know you're a busy guy. Any closing thoughts? In this crazy election year. Not to put you on the spot, but yeah, just get out and vote and register. That's all.
That's a big part of it. I mean, we saw with the issue. We saw it a couple weeks ago during the debate, and I think to me, I've always been a Reagan Republican. I think it's this peace through strength, and showing strength means more than anything right now, especially in the world that's chaotic. And we've got the strongest military in history. We've got an amazing economy that's been going, and we're doing it all in spite of a top leadership right now that really, I think, is kind of asleep at the helm. And I've always been a case, and I think Brian, you might even disagree with me on this one. I've always been a Republican that's always been, politics stops at the water edge. Like, we have one commander in chief, and I didn't like it when President Bush was in there, and we had a lot of the anti-war protests. Didn't like it when President Trump was in, and we had a lot of the protests against what he was trying to work with in Europe. And I think we have to really support the commander in chief, but at some point you got to say, wait a second, this isn't working. We're not projecting the strength we need to right now, because I don't know that the president's capacity right now is all there. And it was just demonstrated in that last debate, and it's worrisome. And I think that's the reason why there are a lot of Democrats right now who are calling for the president to step back and not run for office. So I think that's kind of a good metric of how you go forward and say, well, wait a second, is this where we are as a nation? is this our commander in chief? Is this the leader of the free world right now? I've always been, Brian, as you know, I've been a staunch advocate of trying to support Ukraine funding, because I think Russia's evil is encroaching, and that doesn't stop at Ukraine. It goes forward, and it encroaches upon U.S. interests, and not just in Europe, but overseas here. And I think this portrayal of weakness overseas hurts us badly. Really,
we gotta have friends. We gotta have friends overseas.
Absolutely.
That doesn't mean we're paying for your dinner every night, but we gotta have friends overseas. And I guess, real quick on the debate, I knew I got exactly what I thought I was going to get. Trump was going to be quiet. He's going to be Trump. Biden was going to be Biden. But the one thing that absolutely pissed me off was when Biden looked right at the camera and said, I haven't lost any soldiers on my watch. And then on my trailer, I have the 13 names of our soldiers. So, Joe, no. Did Trump fluff some stuff? Sure he did. Did Biden fluff some stuff? Sure he did. But when you said you looked right at the American, the people that lost their sons and daughters over there, said, we didn't lose any soldiers.
And it's not just Afghanistan. It's the 13 we lost in Afghanistan. It's also the 4 we lost in Iraq when the Iranians attacked, in Syria and Iraq. We've lost countless others. I unfortunately know a couple of folks who passed away. One was in my former unit back in Army Europe. He, just wasn't lost in combat, but being in the military is a dangerous job. Fundamentally, it is what it is. But you have to take responsibility as commander in chief and own that. And those are on your watch. That's who you're in command of. You've got to take leadership and own it. And I think you're right that, the fact that you could forget that, it seared into me when all the folks I know who are no longer with us, I couldn't forget. It drives me.
Now, have you been a company commander at this point, or you just do your job?
I've just done my job.
Okay. I know sometimes you guys get, very specific. You guys stay in your job. Then there's the other guys that do the command thing and work their way through company commanders, brigade commanders, and all that good fun stuff. But I was just curious just to see. I really appreciate you. I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you. I appreciate being on. I appreciate everyone listening in tonight. Thank you for everyone for joining us. Brian, thank you for everything tonight. I appreciate all your help on this. Keep it going. And next week, thank you for bringing on Joe Bonacci and a lot of our other good folks across Erie County and Northwest PA. We have so many great people. you can fill up a year's worth of show. All the great folks back home.
Well, that is the trouble. Is we really do this one day a week. We talked about 2 days, but one day a week. We want to bring interesting people in It's not always about politics. It's about the people that
Right.
make this country great. And it's not a political slogan. It's people like you that help make this country great. And make sure you say hi to your lovely wife and thank you for letting us borrow you for a couple hours and your lovely kids. You know, I know are they there with you? Because usually they're running by the Zoom
No,
meetings.
I wish my wife and daughter are actually out in Texas right now, so Goodfellow Air Force Base. But Brian, if you or Kim or anyone else are listening, we'll be at the Waterford Heritage Days parade. At least I will. My son and I will be up there. Waterford Heritage Days parade next Saturday morning on the 20th. We'll be in the parade up there, so you're welcome to come join us. We're going to throw out a ton of candy at my son's insistence. He's like, "Dad, we have to have candy. If we're gonna do a parade, we have to have more candy than you know." I'm like, okay, got it, bud. We'll throw out a bunch of candy.
Make it
And
every day. But thank you, sir. Thank you. Congratulations on your promotion.
Brian.
No, wrong hand. Sorry. I salute you. My camera's backwards. Thank you for everything you do. Thanks for making sure our veterans are taken care of.
Yes, sir.
I know the battles you fight, we don't see until years down the road, but you know, they have to start somewhere. Thank you. And, you know, have safe travels wherever you go, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Lance. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Fermi. Thank you, everyone, for watching tonight, too.
All right. Shank out. Man, I tell you what, talk about spending 45 minutes with a guy that actually he's not one of these guys that just talks smack and doesn't do anything. He's the guy on the front line doing it, you know. Now just got promoted to major. Easy the guy to talk with. You know, this is why we do what we do, to talk to you, to get his voice heard, to get your voices heard. He can see everything. And you know, we have plenty of time. You know, we were going to try to do some call-ins, but we haven't really tried it on this program. That's something Brent and I will do on our own time, is have a video in and have a phone in. I don't know. I didn't want to try it on a major and get a bad report. Kim Hunter, you are live. Boots on the ground with Brian Shank.
Oh, I'm so glad you had Daryl on tonight.
Awesome
I just
guy.
love him and his wife.
Just an awesome guy. I mean, Brenda was trying to figure out how to type it. I'm like, he's a patriot. I don't know what else to say, man. He's just that guy
He's
that
a patriot. You know, I got to meet him, I think the same time as you, last year at the ECRC picnic. Him and his wife, his daughter, his son. Oh my God, two of the cutest, most well-behaved kids I ever ran into in my life. His wife's beautiful on the inside and the outside. Very smart, brilliant woman, of course, because she's in the Air Force, you know. And
biased.
they just walked up, said they had looked up. He had said that he looked you and I up on the internet. He was impressed with us. Next thing I know, he's handing us a check.
Yeah, he was helping us out. He helped us financially when we both ran for council. And like I said, he's just a guy that's a patriot, and he's looking to help good people that have the right mission, and you know, aren't afraid of their own shadows. And you know, we've been friends. You know, I bumped into Jake's fundraiser down in Waterford. You know, right in the middle of a field watching some skydivers, and there's Daryl.
Yeah.
There's
And
Daryl.
what really impressed me is he called me from Germany the
Really?
day after the election and we lost. And he goes, Kim, I had to call and see how you're doing, and promised me, calls me all the way from Germany when he's deployed. I'll tell you what, who does that?
No, I agree. I mean, a guy that actually, I don't know, what's the crazy word I'm looking for? Cares.
Cares.
Yeah.
And says, you got it, promise me. He goes, how's Brian doing? I said, I haven't talked to him yet. I said, I talked to Brenda this morning. He's doing about as well as you can expect. I go, because he got screwed. He goes, oh my God, did he? Did he ever? He goes, that one shocked the hell out of me. He goes, promise me you guys aren't going to give up. I said, oh no, we don't give up. We don't surrender. We're going to
Surrender's
get
not
them
an
good.
option.
Don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
We
no.
don't surrender. And he goes, you guys can't give up. He goes, and you guys are in me and my wife's prayers. I go, well, you're the one deployed in Germany. Don't you worry about that. We just want to make sure you get back safely.
Right. You know, and then they made major. I mean, I think he's one of the youngest majors I've ever met. But hey, I was in a long time ago. I think God was a sergeant when I was in. He wasn't a corporal. It was the 80s. So he'd gotten promoted in there. But yeah,
But I
so
mean, shows up everywhere. And I think you're already signed up for Waterford. Aren't you going out there anyways?
I don't
Or
remember.
did I misunderstand?
I didn't. I don't remember signing up for the parade, but I'll look at it this week and look at my schedule because I always they're so nice out there for the parade. They don't care. Show up, throw candy, have a good day. You know.
Right.
You
But if
know.
he's doing something for veterans and he wants us to come out, I'll come out. I'll bring out a bunch of candy. And I love his kid. His kid is the cutest kid ever.
Yeah. Well, he's got two of them actually. He's got two.
Well, yeah, his daughter, but his daughter's in Texas. They're at Lackland Air Force Base.
Ah, yeah,
San
I've never been
Antonio.
to Texas. I met a nice lady on the campaign trail. She's originally from Erie, but then now she lives in Texas. And I
Yeah.
thanked her for bringing up the storm with her. I said, "Thank you for bringing your Texas storm here to us. Thank you."
Ah, yeah, they're at Lackland where they do all the air. That's where they have boot camp. But
Oh,
they also do they do a lot of training there too. That's where they do the dogs, the canines. That's where they do the MP training. They do a lot of stuff at Lackland. That's right there in San Antonio by Six Flags. So I guarantee you their daughter's having the time of her life.
Yeah.
Probably out there with the puppies. But anyways, I wanted to talk about this weekend.
huge weekend.
Huge. It's gonna be epic. Now you want to go over the schedule with me one more time because you've only told me 10 times. Friday night's Harley Davidson, correct?
Yes, they. I think it starts off Thursday night actually, and it's Thursday, Friday. Friday's the big night. Dee will be out there registering for for if you want to pick up a VIP. Saturday is the actual parade where we meet up at Plyler's Entry Systems. It used to be called something
In
else, but
McKean.
yeah, and McCain. You
McKean,
can't
right?
miss it. It's right on 79. It's a big, huge building.
Get out on your left, I believe.
Yeah, the family is a great Harley Davidson riding. They love the veterans. They opened up their new facility up there. Nice bathrooms, plenty of parking lot. We're gonna have.
Right.
I didn't talk to Dee if they got the strikers back or not. I tried to leave her alone because I know she's really busy. But we'll be meeting there. It's an all-wheeled vehicle deal. Anybody, the Jeep folks come up, the Corvette folks come up, the scooter bikes they all come up, and we have an escorted ride through Summit. We don't go to Erie since they took Rona Shore from us, so we don't participate in Erie and give them
Right.
any money. That's how you hurt somebody.
Right.
And then
Now, what's going on tomorrow night?
tomorrow night is what, Thursday? Yeah, Thursday.
Yeah. So that'll be up at the sports park?
No, I think everything starts at Harley Davidson. Brenda, it starts at Harley, doesn't it? She's taking her union break.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
It's all
We'll have to look
posted
it
up.
up and
Just
repost it.
go on social media, go on Facebook. Roller. That's the schedule's there. The big event, like I said, is Saturday.
Tomorrow is at Harley.
Yeah, tomorrow's
It'll
Harley.
be fun, and
Yes.
everything goes to veterans, which is so important to all of us.
Yes, like Brenda said.
I'll have my Jeep there with my giant Trump flag on one side and my American flag on the other side. The weather's going to be perfect for this event.
I see that. I'm glad that Storm got all of its yuckiness out of its system today. So that's
Yes,
fine.
and I won't have doors on my car, and I won't have a roof on it. It's going to be epic.
The Democrats are trying to take that away from you. You know that, don't you? They've got legislation.
No, do you know Pennsylvania is the only state in the whole union that requires you to have doors on your car?
I know. And they're going to make you
Yes,
guys
but
they're going to make you put them on
they're
there.
voting on a law to get rid of it.
I thought I read it the other way, but hey, whatever. I wasn't paying attention. It was a Jeep
Yeah.
thing. I don't have a Jeep, so Saturday
But
is
you got to get a Jeep.
someday. I like not having a car payment.
I know. I don't have a car
I
payment.
just paid mine off. But
I know. you did.
then
You're so
Saturday
good.
we have the posting of the colors. I have my big flag out there. The American Legion out of 571 out of Wesleyville Honor Guard will do their gun salute. Have a couple guest
14,
speakers.
30 hours.
Yeah. So that I was supposed to send you that, but that's a rundown. Everything's online. Just go on your Facebook and say, Roller for Veterans. You'll see it. It's all there. It's all listed up. But yeah,
Yes, and everybody should come. because it's
Thursday
such a
and
good
Friday.
charity.
Thursday and Friday are at Harley Davidson of Erie. They've joined the team, which makes it bigger. So guess what? We're almost as big as Rona Shore was, days wise. Now we just got to build up the numbers and kind of go to the mayor shutting
Yeah,
down Roaring Shore. But
right.
it evolved to something different. It's evolving to where the Jeeps are involved. The Roaring Shore parade, motorcycles. There wasn't any vehicles, so
Right.
they're
And
doing it
Jeeps are
as
sexy.
we're doing them. It's doing a lot smarter and getting more people involved, which helps
Right.
bolster the numbers, makes money, and more money comes back to the veterans. And
Right. And then
we put
the 19th, Matt is having an event at the Colony.
right.
So everybody should put that on their calendar. I believe that's 6 to 9, and it's $25. Get to be fed. There will be a Chinese auction and a 50-50. Everybody, you need to come out and support Matt. We got to get rid of Mursky. You know, his green is not clean. He only votes what the party tells him to vote. Nice guy, but his politics suck, as we all know.
Yeah.
And let's put a shout out to Congressman Kelly for voting on the Say Back today. That's huge, huge. What a prejudice thing to make you prove that you're a U.S. citizen in order to vote.
Yeah, I know. That's just a bunch of big racists. I'm telling you.
I know. But as much as people want to complain about our congressman, he's always out there doing good for us.
But see, that's why the Democrats hate him, because he doesn't do that Democrat bullshit. He votes his heart. He tries to follow his constituents. And you have to be a US citizen to have the privileges of being a US citizen. If you're not born here, you have the path to get there, but the Democrats want everything free and cheap and easy and now. And if they don't get what they want, they do a whole Karen. You hurt my feelings. Your big Trump sign hurt my feelings. And that's all I'm going to say on that matter and move on.
Right. They jump up and down and throw a temper tantrum.
Yeah.
So,
They go to their safe spot.
you see how they play. If you don't play by their rules, they want to change the rules. So if they're not winning.
I had another little
Good
lady.
news though, we are turning red.
Oh, we are.
Bucks County has turned red, completely red.
Nice.
Scott Trussell is going to come down and help us out because it can't just be you and me and Karen. Like I tell everybody, please get online, sign up for Trump Force 47. Listen, guys, they give you a walking list of 25 people. Get on there, sign up, go engage these people. You're going to get a free t-shirt and a patch. I know you guys are already engaging anyway, so get the rewards for it. You engage 25 people. Hey, they're going to send you a Trump Force 47 baseball hat. It only takes 5 minutes to sign up for it. You guys are already out there engaging. Let's win this thing. We got to take back our country, our county, our city, and most of all, our schools. We got to help these kids out. We got to get rid of this DEI and all this other crap. We got to start teaching history.
Yeah, the DEI it's a dying a hard, slow, painful goodbye death, and that's fine. It was all bullshit. It's all racism backwards, but it's hey man, whatever.
It teaches hate.
I know it.
And the teachers hate it.
I get it. Yeah, no, but yeah,
You
Lance. Yeah, I want to say
that's another thing we got to work on. I'm telling you guys, get the free rewards. You're already doing the work.
then
Get
what's
something out
what's
of
the website to go sign up for this?
TrumpForce47.com.
There you go. Sign up.
Takes
Help
less
out the
than
team.
2 minutes.
Yep. You
And
get them a
I
couple
want to
stuff.
thank you, Brian, for bringing on another great guest. I have a message from you from Barletta. His brother Eric called me today. I said, hey, he's already booked for next week, so he's going to get a hold of you. He wants to come on the week after next, before I forget. So I said, hey, just call him up, let him know, because you know what? He's booking up fast because boots on the ground is becoming huge. So
I know you
I
passed out about
everybody for listening.
You've passed out dozens of business cards. I had to go order a bunch more from Brenda's print shop.
Yes. Yeah. And guys, please get yourself a boots on the ground t-shirt, the best advertisement in the world. My shirt still looks like brand new, and I wear it at least twice a week, and people are constantly asking me about it. They're only $20 and they are awesome looking. So please help support the show. Get yourself a t-shirt because they're awesome. They are awesome looking. I wear it all the time. People compliment me on it. So get yourself a t-shirt. And at that, I'm going to let you go. And thank you and Brenda again for all of your hard work. You are appreciated more than anything. And I hope to see everybody at Harley tomorrow night.
Thanks for Kim. Thanks for everything you do, man. You know, boots on the ground. Get these people registered. That's our mission. So peace out,
Right.
sister.
And if you get somebody registered, we're going to give you a goodie bag, and they're full of all kinds of great goodies now. We got all kinds of neat new stuff coming in. So come see Brenda or me, get yourself a mail-in ballot, and we're going to give you a prize. Talk to you later, Brian. Thank you,
Yay.
Brenda. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Well, there it is. You know, like I said, you know, we had so there's owensforamerica.com. Brenda put that up there. So if you guys want to learn more about our guest, the newly promoted major, great guy, great American, cares, you know, there's all his other information. Thank you, Brenda, for being awesome on the spot. Appreciate it. She sits in the command center. Does it. So whenever we got a bunch of videos to put up. We found some cool things that are kind of like happening nationwide. And we bring them on here to show you that this stuff is happening. And, you know, I don't vet them very far, other than the fact I tried to get them from reasonable news sources, which is getting tougher and tougher every day. But you know what? Anything on the show, go ahead and vet it out. You know, call me out on it. I don't find if it's not real. Sorry. So Brenda got a video. Throw one up.
With Denise Caruana. She's the organizer of the second annual Roll In for Veterans. Dee, welcome back to the Blue Couches.
Thank you again for having me. Always a pleasure.
Good to have you. Let's talk about this event that's coming up next month.
Yes, July 11th, right around the corner.
Yeah.
Sort of crazy that it's here. We're full force. You know, we're rolling with it. No pun intended there. Obviously, we have all the music and everything lined up. Family-friendly event. 2 locations this year, and we added an additional day, July 11th, due to last year's success.
Oh, wow.
We have Harley Davidson of Erie and Otis 12 as the second venue. The main hub is still the Erie Sports Center. We have everything from children face painting, Chinese auctions. We have 50-50s. We have skydivers with the American flag jumping, 21-gun salute. Of course, it's all for the veterans. 100% of the proceeds this year are going to the Veterans Miracle Center of Erie and then Warriors to Washington. And they depend on funds to take their veterans and to take care of them. So we are really excited this year. We also added Harvest 912, which is a veteran charity organization out of Erie, is doing a pepper palooza. And
yeah, I thought this was really interesting. And Brianna, as a chef, I think you'll love this. Is it a contest?
Yes. So what they're doing is they're doing their national chili belt competition. So on Hulu, Disney Plus has a series called Super Hots. And there's chili heads and chili pepper heads.
Gosh.
It's crazy. The show.
Crazier than sneaker heads.
Yeah.
Chili pepper heads.
Yeah, it was. I watched it and I was taken back on it. But
Which one did you watch? Which celebrity?
Johnny Scoville, UK Queen, I think is her name.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, they're.
Did they take the heat?
Oh my gosh! Like you should see them. I mean, I was crying
So
watching
this is going to be happening at the event.
at the sports center.
That's fun.
So they're doing 3 chili pepper contests, and we are looking for local contestants for one of the contests.
Okay.
So we have a gentleman from Northeast that has signed up, but we are in need of a few more people. So
Chili heads.
Yeah, chili heads.
Here
Come on out.
yes.
If you're into heat, let's see how much you can handle.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Dee, you said this is kind of trying to fill the void of Roar on the Shore. When it left town, people were really upset, and you agreed to do it if it was for the veterans. I love that.
Yeah. It was after COVID and everything that went on, and everybody kept reaching out saying, we need someone to get something going like a Roar on the Shore and bring, the businesses back. And, Roar was always for charity. So I said, fine, I'll do it, but it has to be for the veterans because everything I do is for the veterans. So the community pushed it, and, I recently had a very bad accident, and I was not going to do a second annual, and I had a little up step in December, and I thought I was doing well, so I decided to put it together at last minute. People thought I was nuts. They still do. but I went with it. And the community outreach has been huge, and I feel a little guilty because I think it's probably because of my accident that a lot more people are stepping up
Well,
to.
it's your commitment to veterans, I think, and how committed you are, and people are behind that, and of course behind you as well, and all you do for this area. And two great charities this year: Veterans Miracle Center of Erie and Warriors to Washington. Get a hold of Dee, but again, mark your calendar, July 11th through the 14th for the second annual Roll-In for Vets. Thanks for being here.
There you go. There you got the list of events. Thank you, Brenda, for putting that up there. You know, there was a lot of questions, and trust me, I can't remember everything, but that's just the way she goes. But again, you know, come out, support the veterans. There are going to be vendors up there. You can walk around. There's no charge to get in. There's plenty of local vendors selling their products and stuff. And if you're there on Saturday, right around the lunchtime, that's when all the ceremonies, the flags come in, the big flags come in, the gun salute, posting of the colors. So that's where we had like Mike Ruzzi. He's a huge supporter of veterans, and he will be there saying a few words. So Saturday, it's an all-wheeled parade starting at Pilar Entry Systems. I said overhead doors on the mic. He's like, we don't use that anymore. I said, sorry, man. I know you guys. So Brenda, with all the crazy politics stuff and all the stuff going on, what do you got in the queue for us?
Joe has shouldered since he took his oath of office.
So that was a little bit of First Lady Jill Biden there in Wilmington, North Carolina. As Molly Hemingway pointed out, we believe she said Delaware. I know they're used to being in Delaware, but this is indeed North Carolina, and this is before she goes to Tampa, Florida, and hits another city on support of her husband, the president, who doubled down and said he is staying in no uncertain terms. You know, Emily, this is clearly a part of the strategy. She's one of his top surrogates. She is out there. And she's also, according to all the reporting, privately saying, we're not getting out of this, Joe.
Right. And prior reports before the disastrous debate, before the follow-up interview with ABC, were noting how much more robust her campaigning was than President Biden himself, number one. And number two, there had, in fact, been expose articles essentially saying, look, she's the driving force. Critics arguing that there was a refusal to sort of relinquish power in that way. But now, on the heels of the things that I just cited, those two events in particular, then it sort of smacks of an interesting lack of awareness of what's going on. We wonder if she's going to address it, to your point earlier, when asked, well, she didn't reply. At the end of the day, the question remains, well, we've sort of been in an emperor's new clothes position this whole time. Now there's a growing groundswell of Democrats who clearly feel safe calling for the president to step aside and having a new candidate. Well, there's not been any reply formally yet from Dr. Jill Biden, which it seems perhaps that she is the one at the helm.
Lisa, all of this intended to put pressure on congressional Democrats. There's the letter that went out from Biden this morning. There's the call into Morning Joe. Jill Biden, these images out on the trail. Notably, as House members return to the Hill, will be chased down by reporters to ask, should Joe stay in the race?
Yeah, and this letter to Congress is smart because clearly he's trying to get ahead of members of Congress reconvening after recess. There was that report that Senator Warner was trying to coalesce Senate Democrats and potentially trying to push Joe Biden out of the race. Now that is over, allegedly, at least reportedly. So it looks like absent an act of God, Joe Biden is in this thing. I mean, this letter to his party basically says, go pound sand. I'm the presumptive nominee. He says I've gotten 14 million of the votes, 3,900 delegates. He talks about how 87% of the delegates have already been cast for him. I'm your presumptive nominee. And then the options to try to force him out just aren't there. I mean, the 25th Amendment is nonsensical. Impeachment's not going to happen. And then any sort of political process with a brokered convention is very, very messy and also likely isn't going to happen. So, good luck, Democrats. This is, you get what you asked for, I guess. Good luck with Joe Biden.
Well, we have a lot of breaking news this hour. You're looking at part of it.
Unfortunately, we've been saying that for like the last 3 years. Good luck with Joe Biden. And we get that. And that's why we do what we do. We do the show. We have it. We have guests come on, talk about the politics locally, nationally, so everybody can really pay attention. And I got to tell you, with the numbers we're seeing coming from the state, people are paying attention. It's taken us almost getting to World War III. Our economy's in the tank. Oh, but it's doing good. My 401k. Then, of course, the president doesn't control the price of bread. Well, no, actually not, but it helps out. And I tell you, I think I talked about this earlier. I don't want Joe Biden to go anywhere. I want Joe Biden to stay exactly where he's at until November when he's fired. Because I'm telling you, leave him where he's at. Let him just keep doing what he's doing. It just reemphasizes everything we've been saying for the last 3.5 years, 4 years, when we said, don't hire this guy. He's, and people are like, well, he's too old. He's too old. He's too old. I don't say anything about being too old. He's not too old. He's too feeble. His mind isn't there enough, and he needs to go to bed at 8 o'clock. What does that tell you? And when his own corrupt DOJ says he's too old and feeble to stand trial, then everyone's like, well, they need to take Trump out because he's old. Well, he's not as old as Joe Biden. He's not as feeble. And obviously he was well enough to stand trial. And that is just collapsing like a house of cards. Remember how blatantly arrogant, yeah, just 1 minute. They just kept pushing him and propping him up. And it's just ridiculous. I want Joe Biden to stay where he is because he is his own worst enemy. We don't have to do anything. We just go like this. Is it November yet? Is it November yet? And when it's November, we have to pay attention. We got to pay attention in October because early voting starts. So we have to be careful. We have to get people registered. We have to make sure that they show up. And that's why I know there's people in this room that don't like the mail-in ballots. I am not a big fan of them. We are one snowstorm away from a disaster. When we can't even get 25% of our local Republicans to get out and vote, the Democrats are betting that the Republicans are going to be lazy like they have trended in the last couple of years, where we barely break 30%. 30% doesn't win the math game. Harbor Creek guy, I think you need like 51, 52, 53% to win. Not 30, not 35, 50 plus. And that's where we're struggling. We can't motivate the base enough to move forward. Stan has stepped up, became a committee person. Kim Hunter, committee person. I'm the committee person for here in Harbor Creek. I'm out on the road every day. I'm out on the road every day. And I tell you what, I keep registrations in my back pocket. I'll go to McDonald's and they're like, two ladies sit at a table. They ended up talking to us about politics, and they're like, well, we need to change our party affiliation. Bang. Here you go. I literally took the Trump train trailer down State Street, stopped in front of Joe Natale's place. They waved, they took a picture, they posted it on their Facebook page. I went down to the dock just to do a loop-de-loop, just to see the dock. Lady and her family were standing there. Can we get a picture? So I pulled off at a parking spot, took a picture. They took some pictures. The kids got up on the trailer. And then people were stopping, taking pictures. You all registered to vote? Yep, we're all registered to vote. Anybody need to change their party or anything? Nope, we're good. Get out and vote. So that silly trailer with that cheap, cheesy Donald Trump mannequin has become a symbol of change, and the symbol of the Democrats absolutely hating that trailer. Hating. The things I can say, and I'm not going to do it. We have a Karen. We have several Karens in Harbor Creek, and I'm not gonna put the newest Karen on blast yet. We're gonna have fun with this one, but we want to have some more fun before we put her on blast. We'll have fun. They hate. A guy came by. Hey man, can I take a picture? Put it on my Facebook page. Yeah, sure, no problem. With some eerie alerts or something. Of course, the people like shaking that stupid trailer. Rah, 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 rah. I get to park free in your brain, just like Donald Trump does, because the Democrats turn nothing but hate. Brenda, play that video, please. Thank you. Lovely wife.
Democrats are gnashing their teeth at the gates of the White House, demanding Joe come out with his hands up.
It's more likely that he'll lose by a landslide than win narrowly this race. And if the stakes are as large as he says, and I believe they are, then he really needs to consider what the right thing to do here is.
I think he should step aside. I think it's become clear that he's not the best person to carry the Democratic message.
The need for him to step aside is more urgent tonight than when I first called for it on Tuesday. And every day he delays, it makes it more difficult for a new person to come on board who can defeat Donald Trump.
Mr. President, your legacy is set. We owe you the greatest debt of gratitude. The only thing that you can do now to cement that for all time and prevent utter catastrophe is to step down and let someone else do this.
Biden's facing calls to step down from congressional leaders tied to the intelligence community. Top Democrats on intel, judiciary, and armed services are calling for Biden's head. The CIA made Biden, and they're about to break him. And just like he can't win without intel, he can't win without donors. Top Hollywood Biden donors have alligator arms. Suddenly, they can't find their wallets. They feel deceived by Biden.
Oh, kills me. Kills me. You know, dog eat dog, man. They're starting to eat themselves. But you know, I got to tell you, you know, Jill Natale, Shani Bills is on there, the producer. I know she's a Democrat, and that's fine. She's a reasonable Democrat. We actually have, you know, kind of agreed on some points that both of them have their issues, and Joe Biden just isn't there. And that's good where you have your reasonable Democrats starting to go, oh crap. You know, his debate, I can't wait for the next one. Remember, he was all tough, puffy chest about this debate thing. That 30-second little spot forensically was looked at. They can look at it electronically and see the edits. That 30-second spot had, I think, over a dozen edits in 30 seconds for calling Donald Trump out for a debate. I'm not presidential. I don't think I could do what they do. No way. I'm only 60 years old, 61 on the 21st. I accept gifts and cash apps. No, I'm kidding. 61. I don't need anything. I do need a tire for my Harley, but that's another story. But the point is, you know, that we knew this guy was going to have issues going in there. Robin Williams, when he was running around in the 80s and 90s, he had a skit out about Senator Biden back in the day, you know. So yeah, Stan, you know, here, I'll put that on the main screen here. You know, my grandfather was amazing and sharp until 98. Unfortunately, Joe is crashing, not his fault. Just, of course, his life needs to be recognized. And I personally blame Jill Biden. His wife should be arrested for about elderly abuse. She has to physically move him off a stage. She has to help him down a step. She has to help him put on his coat. You know, this is elderly abuse. He should have retired. Thank you for being the vice president. You tried to run him twice before. It failed miserably because of his plagiarism. That plagiarism didn't go anywhere. It still happened. It still happened. He was busted plagiarizing. He was busted lying about his college, and he just gets caught. You know, well, that's just Joe. It's just bumbling Joe. No, this is the guy that thinks he's in charge of the world. Not my words, his words, not mine. And he's in charge of the world. And he doesn't need to take a cognitive test because he gets one every day when he goes to work from 11 to 4 and goes to bed at 8. Let him sit there. I know you guys are like, what? Shank, did you bump your head today, Shank? No, I didn't bump my head. Let him sit there. Don't remove him, because if they try to remove him, they could put somebody in there, and they're going to be the next thing next to spit. Let him sit there. There's no real mechanism to remove him other than the 25th, and they're not going to do that. His own people aren't going to do that. If he quits, Kamala Harris becomes vice president, and technically she should be the one in line. But it's up to what the Democrats say. He was duly elected. He was duly elected for for the nominee for president on the Democrat side. And let's just let it roll. Let it roll. Just let it roll. Sit back, relax, enjoy the summer. Let's take the Harleys out. Let's get some ice cream and watch Joe Biden slowly burn. Because you know what? They were letting him do it. I feel bad to see that old man just sitting there crashing and burning on national TV and during a debate. He's sick. You people created it. You people put him up to it. You people prop him up. You people are the puppet masters. And like I said, I'll say it every time, 4 times. He looked at you, the American people, and said, nobody, soldiers were killed on his watch during the last decade, the last century. Lies. He lied over dead soldiers, men and women, that gave their lives for this country. That's how much he hates this country. Okay, they're like, you're being awful hard on me, guy. Well, I am. He's the president of the United States. He is the commander in chief. He is the guy that's running the world right now, according to him. Oh, gee, yeah, George Clooney. Who cares? You know what? George Clooney, I used to like him as an actor. You know what? Go act. Let your political beliefs, and I thought he was supposed to have left the country already. I thought, a lot of them doing it. He 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 actually came after the people that have financially supported him, and now he's going after them. Hello, it's part of the plan, people. I'm telling you, it's part of the plan. It's part of the plan. I think they're going to swoop in at 11 o'clock. They're going to somehow finagle to let these millions of people vote, and they're going to vote Democrat. That's the only way they can win. That's the only way. I am so sick. Well, Trump's a felon. And you know what? Lady asked me, he's a felon. I said, what's he a felon of? Come on, 34, 32, whatever. What was the felony? Well, he paid money. Nope, that's not it. Exactly. There is no clear answer on this. And that's why the Supreme Court ruled. And that's why the Trump people said, can we have a 2-month extension? Yes, because they know it's going to get thrown out. They know it's going to get thrown out. They're going to let Trump go right into his right into the big Republican, festivities here very, very soon. He's going to get the nomination, and he's going to win unless they fix how to get all these illegals that they've allowed into this country to vote. That's it. That's it. Oh, I have another male Karen in my neighborhood. I was literally coming home, little old man standing, he stood there and flipped me off. If I hadn't had the trailer on, I'd have stopped, back up, and flipped him off too. I don't get it. Why can't we just disagree and move on? No, you stand there and flip me off. You know what? A lady flipped me off, and I flipped her back off, and I said, you know what? That's a 2-way street. You have a nice day. Stand up. Stop taking their crap. Okay. Give me 1 minute. I get little text messages from my lovely wife and producer. Don't take their crap anymore, people. Stop being the victim. Stop it. And they're going to spin it around. Oh, you're just playing the victim. No, we're tired of you shoving your crap down our throats. We are tired of you disrespecting this country. We are tired of the minority, and I don't say colored minorities, the minorities trying to dictate to us what the majority is and calling us racist because we disagree with them. No, that's not true. You're the one that's being racist by saying we're racist. I know that's a double back, but it's the truth. I'm not racist. Like I joke with everybody, this is a joke. This is a joke. All the sound bites, this is a joke. I'm not racist. I hate everybody equally. So there you go. So it's just bullshit. Brenda, we're going to wind this thing down. Go ahead and let's put that fun video on there. This is a guy out of Florida.
You know who we gon' vote? We voting Donald Trump, baby. America needs saving. America needs saving. We voting Trump, baby. November 5th, we going crazy. November 5th, we going crazy. Red pill poppin', swerving in the Trump. Republican 4G, Antifa knows what's up. Red, white, and blue, mega nation, throw it up. Black, white, and brown, all about Trump. Democrat party gon' take your freedom. Indicting our president cause they can't beat it. It's a two-tier justice system. Put America first, we the victim. FJB, 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 FJB. Let's go, Brandon, sing it. We voting Donald Trump, baby. America needs saving. America needs saving. We voting Trump.
If you really paid attention, the back riff was Vanilla Ice. I'm not a big rap guy, but I'm like, oh my God, this guy was a huge supporter of Trump in the last election. And matter of fact, he had a mannequin of Donald Trump in one of his big trucks. That's where I got the idea to build mine. Now, this rap guy, I don't even know his name, has way more money than I had to have to play with. So he was his Donald Trump mannequin looked a lot better. But hey, you all get it, you know. Sleep. Yeah, no, yeah, here, Stan, you're on a roll tonight, Stan. Here, Stan. God forbid the call comes in at 9:30 and the commander-in-chief is sleeping. Well, trust me, he's not doing anything anyway. He doesn't have the launch codes. He doesn't. There's no way he has the launch codes. No way. It's just like, some of the officials that served under Trump. He didn't have the launch codes. We had them. We didn't trust them. Okay. I trust the guy that actually gets it. Oh, I get it. So, so Brenda, let's put this one up here. This is a big one. It's a good one. Question today, the White House said it happened if there's a nuke after 8 p.m. Do we contact the first lady or press secretary? Walked out of the room because it's the truth. It is the gospel. Oh yeah, he's too feeble to stand trial and he needs to go to bed at 8 o'clock. How many more things do you need? But the problem is, it's just been a, orange man bad. Did you see the orange spray tan they gave him for the Stephanopoulos interview? But I guess the orange man is bad. But hey, what do I know? I want to bring this thing in for landing. Again, it's been a pleasure. We've been here for almost 2 hours. Flies when you're having fun, boys and girls. I hope I didn't bore you. I try to keep interesting guests, good conversations. I appreciate all the text messages. I tried to answer them, but it's hard sometimes. Yeah, Lance, I'm not a big rap guy, but I like that song because it's the Vanilla Ice beat behind it, and they just kind of change it. I got a laptop full of Trump stuff. Let's talk about the Trump train. Go ahead and mark your calendars. August 18th, we are shooting for 12 o'clock at a Northeast. Details to follow. Just got to work out some tactical stuff. So go ahead and officially mark it. August 18th, so less than a month away. And July 21st, Moa's birthday, we're going to do a flag ceremony. Basically, we just stand there and hold flags. And we were going to be on the overpass at Station Road and I-90. We're going to meet at the get-go at 9 o'clock. I'll bring I'll throw some water in a cooler, bring a flag. It's a short walk up to the bridge. And it's just to say, make America great again, one flag at a time. It's my birthday too. So I want to thank you all. I appreciate you. It's only Wednesday, but on Fridays it's supposed to be red. Remember, everyone deployed. I want to personally thank our guest for coming out tonight, sharing his busy life with us. Hashtag live from the dining room and justify our cop. Brenda, roll the last video, and I personally thank you all for coming out. I'll see you next Wednesday.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. Thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'Cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. Sing it! God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining seas, from Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
All right, everybody, thanks for coming out. Be safe. God bless America. Remember, everybody deployed. Get out and vote. I'll talk to you later. Shank.